Hello, I'm Nathaniel Gadsden, Community Impact Manager for United Way of the Capital Region and also Director of the Fatherhood Academy. And my special guest today is Mr.
Michael. Mike also.
That's right. I'll let you introduce yourself,
Yes.
Mike. And Mike Alsop and I are involved in the Fatherhood Academy in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And as I said, we're part of what's called, I work for United Way of the Capital Region. And the reason why we're here today is to talk about the very serious issue of young people who don't have in-home or intact fathers. In fact, there's many homes. In fact, in the African American community, statistics are telling us that 73% of all children born into families today in the United States of America are born into a single-parent home. And most oftentimes the father is absent. Mike, you work with young people all the time
Yes.
in many different ways. You're not necessarily a biological father yourself,
No.
but you've been a coach, a
Coach.
teacher, and a facilitator for many programs.
Correct.
Tell us what you see today in terms of youth and especially young men or men being involved in their families.
Well, one of the things is I see it as a problem in that too many young men do not have role models as a father because of, whether it be separation, divorce, or they haven't been married at all.
Yeah.
And the kids are usually the ones that are stuck in the middle. And I think a lot of times what happens is you have a situation where one parent is kind of pitted against the other, but both should be looking out for the welfare of the child, and that's just not happening.
Yeah, so true. And then what kind of results do we see when you see a family or a young person coming up in a family where that situation occurs? What happens to them?
Well, a lot of the times I find that some of the young men are, they refuse to deal with authority figures. And at the same time, the young ladies, if you want to say, are kind of hostile. It's kind of a bitterness, a kind of an anger. They don't come right out and say it, but when they talk, with their actions and different things, you get a feeling that there's something wrong. You can't put your hand on it. And then when you sit down and talk to them one-on-one, that is when you find out, we're having problems at home, mom and dad aren't together. And the big question is, which one should I love? And they're stuck in the middle.
Yeah. And unfortunately, and let's make it clear, we're not talking about all families, of course. We see a lot of young people who come from single-parent homes doing very, very well. But the problem is that there's so many now who fit that profile that you just mentioned. So what's happening to these fathers? Why are so many men finding it easier to just step away and not be involved in the life of their children?
Well, I think one of the things is they have a problem trying to support themselves as well as their family. And therefore, it's like, how do I do this? And what happens is I think they get caught up in the system in that, the wages aren't out there, the job market. And at times, when you say some men have, spent some time in jail, they have a problem trying to get a job.
Absolutely. And you mentioned jail. Right now we have a preponderance of men who have found themselves, and now women as well, in the criminal justice system, which puts them even further behind the 8 ball. They're separated from their families. Now it's harder for them to get jobs. Why are so many men, of course we don't, I'm just throwing it out there rhetorical, but so many men seem to be willing to commit a crime in order to, for some short-term gain, but in the long run, they're leaving their families and they're putting their families in more hardship. What do you think is the answer to all this?
Well, I think one of the things is that at times the men especially have to be able to get some kind of employment. And I think the qualifications for employment for some people that, when I say that have been incarcerated, they're denied simply because, hey, you have a record. And therefore, it's like, if I can't get a job, I can't get the money, or the money I should be able to make, I have to take care of myself, and I also have to pay like child support and so on and so forth. And I think that's kind of a big problem.
Yeah, no question. And you're right. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of things that cause. Again, this is the Fatherhood Academy. I'm interviewing Mike Alsop, a retired school teacher, coach, and a facilitator for a lot of youth programs, excuse me. And my name is Nathaniel Gadsden. I work for the United Way of the Capital Region. And the reason why we decided to do this documentary is to highlight some attitudes, views, perceptions that men have, because we are all the other part of the equation that men have about what's going on in our society and why so many men find themselves on the outside of their families as opposed to the inside. The Fatherhood Academy, by the way, meets every Monday evening from 6:30 to 8 at what's called the United Methodist Neighborhood Center in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And the program is free and open to anybody. And it is a program dedicated to bringing men in, helping them to look at issues that surrounding their lives and the kinds of things that they need to do to become better dads, and then hopefully to move out and become literally a successful, intact father. Even if they're not still committed to a relationship with the mother, they have to understand that they are still responsible for helping to raise their children, and that's what this is all about. Today's program is about fatherhood from a male perspective. Today I have with me some good men, all members of the Fatherhood Academy. We're starting from my left to my right is Mr.
I'm Burnell Smith. Thank you for inviting me.
Mm-hmm. And also?
Valise Coxel. Thank you for inviting me too.
Mike Alsop, glad to be here.
All right. And gentlemen, what I'd like you to do is talk about the issues that you feel are most important for this audience to know from a male perspective. When we talk about absentee fathers, you hear that all the time. Men are not home. Men don't care. Men are, not involved. Is that true, first off, across the board? And if it is, what can we do about it? I'm going to start. Mike, what do you think? Is that a true statement that men just aren't involved in the lives of their children?
I think for the most part, they are involved early. It's as they get older, then they kind of drift out of the picture.
Okay. All right. Is there some reasons why they drift out?
Well, I think one of the things is the employment situation. I think at times the other, big issue is the problems that they have in the court system.
Okay. We're going to get back to that. I appreciate that. Brother Valise, how about yourself? From your perspective, is that a true statement?
No, that's not a true statement.
It's not a true? Okay.
No. I think men are involved, but it's certain situations, and one of them, is like Mike said, is the court system.
Okay.
And then the problems with the other half.
The significant other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And that brings a lot of, things in to play with the visitations and things like that. So,
yeah, in the popular culture, they talk about baby mama drama.
Right.
We're going to talk about that again, man. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of them.
The court system and baby mama drama. Yes. Brother Burnett, how about yourself?
I think that's what he meant when he said the other half.
Yeah.
The other half. We call them the better half.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I agree both with Mike and Brother V that we have some very interesting dynamics happening about fatherhood, and that coupled with what's going on societal, both in the legal system and with the mama drama and personal initiative. We have just an array of situations, incidents, variables, that compound this problem with absentee fatherhood.
Absolutely.
But we're going to work on that.
We're going to work on it. That's right. Now, all you men, are you all fathers?
Yes, I am.
I'm a father.
Your father?
Yes, sir.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm just out here learning and working with kids.
All right. But you are a retired school teacher.
Right.
And also a basketball coach.
Yes,
And
football coach,
football-
tennis coach.
okay, all
But
those,
at the
okay.
same time, what I do is I get to see the kids on a different level, like in the process of coaching. And sometimes what they have to say kind of comes out as to their person. What happens to them. Sometimes they reveal what's taking place at home and how they're caught in the middle of everything.
Okay, well, good. For those persons who are watching this tape, we want to say that the Fatherhood Academy meets on Monday evenings in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It is a program of the United Way of the Capital Region, and we meet every single Monday, except those that are holidays, at the United Methodist Neighborhood Center at 3rd and Kelker Street in Harrisburg, 301 Kelker. And it's from 6:30 to 8, and it's a free and open program. Hope that you'll plan to attend sometime. Gentlemen, I want you to think about this. All of you come to the Fatherhood Academy for your own reasons. What brought you to the Fatherhood Academy? Lee, I'm going to start with you.
The first thing was I was court ordered. But then after I completed my course, the time being here, I found out that it was more I needed to know about the fatherhood. So that brought me here.
Okay, very good. Okay. How about you, Brother Burnell?
Well, I don't know how fortunate or unfortunate it is, but I think many of us come to this forum court appointed. Likewise, myself. But as Brother V mentioned, being here on a regular basis, really tapped in to the fact that I could benefit from the information and networking, and just talking about this whole dynamic of fatherhood.
But can we say for sure, I want to make sure our viewing audience know this, though you say court appointed does not mean that you were a bad father.
No.
No, it doesn't mean you're a bad father. It means that there was an incident that happened or something happened or whatever reason, but that's why you were brought. But you were in the life of your children, is that correct?
For me, absolutely, and I agree with you. Being a bad father and being court appointed are not synonymous.
That's right.
They're not the same thing. They should not run parallel. And in my situation, definitely not. I would not consider myself a bad father, although I would run into very few men that would say that they're bad fathers.
Absolutely.
Lots of times that we get an opportunity here to reflect, and when you're really doing a very thorough self-reflection, you can answer that question later for yourself.
Okay. Okay. Brother V, how about yourself? Release.
Yeah, I'm not like he said. Being court ordered doesn't mean you're not in your child's life or you're a bad father. It's just that it wasn't looked at on both ends. It wasn't investigated. Should he be ill? Was he ever, a bad father? I guess if you want to say that.
Yeah.
And I want to jump back to another topic when he said, Mike said about the employment situation. That does not stop you from being in your child's life. Because if you want to be in your child's life, you're going to be in that child's life and help raise it. So I'm not saying what you said is wrong, but man, as being a man and wanting to raise a child, you're going to make some kind of time for your child.
Absolutely. We're going to come back to that too. That's an excellent point you make. But a lot of men find themselves locked up, even if it's temporarily, because of lack of child support and that kind of thing. And they say, well, I don't have a job in this. So we'll get back to that because that's another whole smoke. And what does that really do? But Mike, what brought you to the Fatherhood Academy?
I work with young people. I've been working with them for, still working, at least 30 years. And at times I found that what was going on in the household had a great impact on the kids. Right? And I found that the kids, they had a dilemma in that, who do I love? Mommy or daddy? And at times, a lot of children, felt that they were the cause of mom and dad going their different ways. And I think, no, that's between mom and dad, and you kind of have to step out of it. But I don't think they understand that concept.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Let's just stop right there.